So now we've got the full release of Destined Rivals coming on May the 30th to the English set. It's going to be incredible nonetheless. Just a big fan of this set in general. The artwork, everything is just incredible. The question is, should you open it or should you just invest? Keep it sealed. Should you put it away in a back room where nobody can touch it? Now, obviously, from a collector's point of view, you open every single pack that you get, but that is not as simple as what we know. It's not really a new thing that this is kind of what everybody does in terms of obviously keeping things sealed, and I don't think necessarily it's the major big problem really. I think it's the fact the hype is got absolutely everywhere. So it does put a bit more of almost a tactical approach when buying, collecting, investing in Pokemon cards in general. Like, I'm a big fan of collecting. I like the sets. I want to collect one of everything. So yes, I will most definitely open a box, an ETB. And that is just something from a personal point of view that I will always do for every set. If I can get my hands on, even if it's some of the sets that are the hardest to get, the prismatic, I've not really kept anything. I've opened everything because I want to try and get as much of the set as possible to collect it. Now I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, I'm not necessarily going to get much more value out of this. It's going to be a very hard chance of me to be able to pull anything in an excess amount of money. If I spend £500, I could get a God Pack, I could get a Dummy God Pack, I could get just one SAR that's worth X amount. I could also get nothing. So you've got to cut ties. And that's, I think, from a collector's point of view, the best advice you will ever get. Make your goal, set it, and put a price tag on it. Because you can quite easily go and buy packs, and not necessarily get any closer to your goal. And I've learned this the hard way with Surgeon Sparks. Don't get me wrong, done very, very well with the set. Pulled the Pikachu, which was just an incredible feeling. The Latias we've managed to get. Milotic has evaded us, and then we've got the fourth highest card, which does escape me. I think we've got the gold Pikachu. And now I'm quite happy that I'm just starting to pick up the singles from them. Going back to this set then, because we've already talked about other things a much, this is kind of the information that we've got so far. Just look at the products. Look at this artwork. Like, don't get me wrong, I will 100% open one of these boxes, but trying to keep one sealed as well will be an impossible task because it looks incredible. Obviously, if you are looking for an early sneak peek of the artworks, Heatwave Arena or Hot Air Arena is the Japanese set that's out now, and Glory to Team Rocket is what's coming out next month, April 18th, I believe. They are going to be the two sets from Japanese that will merge to make this beauty. So we've obviously got the artwork with Mewtwo and Giovanni. We've already got a Mewtwo EX already kind of leaked. We then have the Team Rocket artwork, and then we also have Hop, I believe it is, and then also Cynthia with Garchomp as well. Incredible. There is also the single, I think it's the 18 half booster box that you'll be able to get. Look at this. Just look at it. Tell me you don't want one of these on your shelves. This has already got like a rocket theme shelf. If I could fit anything like I've only got from here to this wall, so there's not a great deal of room that I could go with here. But in general, if I could get like a rocket shelf on this, that is a centerpiece right there. Obviously, it's going to come with all the packs. You're going to get the same amount in each ETB. You've obviously got the normal Elite Trainer box and the Pokemon Center. Love that they've gone for two different artworks as well. That is going to be a collection piece, if I do say so myself. If you can't get a Pokemon Center box, more than likely you could probably pick up an empty box quite cheaper. Probably what I'm going to do. And try and keep up a box as well. You've obviously got the sleeves and everything about it. Incredible. Look at it. This set is just made for nostalgic vibes everywhere. You've got the player guide. You've obviously got the counter, the rocket dice as well. We did also get the blister packs added in. We've obviously got Kangaskhan thrown in there with Zebra Striker. We've obviously got Skelderidge. We've got Togekiss, which I swear they were on previous ones as well. I don't know. They're Surgeon Sparks, most definitely, but I'm pretty sure we've had them before. Whether we get them again or that's just whatever. We obviously have the Booster Bundle. Love it. We then also have the Build and Battle. We also then have the Destined Rival stamps. There was information that I need to read about these as well. Also got some artwork, as always. These are kind of the graphic arts. We are getting a Wobbuffet as the promo for the Pokemon Center and the also Elite Trainer box. This is not the actual promo card. This is just a previous Rocket Wobbuffet, just to show you that that is what we're getting. And then obviously they've got the stamps as well. That is the Hot Air Arena that we will get, and that is obviously the Glory to Team Rocket in the Japanese sets. So obviously you can go ahead and have a look. We'll show you some of them cards in a second. But going through the information, so obviously May 30th is going to be the release of these. All of the products are on PokeBeach, or more than likely other sites as well. Already talked about the Wobbuffet. Our Destined Rivals set will include 240 cards, 85 trainers, including 45 Team Rockets. It's a huge set. You've got 17 EXs, including 10 with trainers, more than 20 trainer cards, more than 45 Pokemons and trainers cards with special illustrations, 83 new cards tagged as Team Rocket, 23 illustration rares, 11 special illustration rares, and 6 hyper rares. So going back to the old roots, we obviously had Prismatic with no illustration rares. It was just SARs for days, from trainers to Pokemon, which made the set very, very hard to collect in general. Like you don't, unless you're counting the Pokeballs and the Master Balls and EXs as a hit, it does get a little bit lonely in that space. So just something to always be wary of in general. Now, if we were to look at a set of this, so if we go over to Poke Collect, you'll be able to see the Hot Air Arena here, which is obviously going to be the first half, the trainer portion, or the battle partners portion of Destined Rivals. So we've got a lot of just standard cards, obviously like we saw with the Typhlosion with Hop on the side. I'm a big fan personally of it being on the bottom right, but I get it, it's got to change. It can't just be an exact replica. It's fair enough. But obviously you'll get the standard set, which is going to be 280 cards, but we will be getting some of these. So obviously these are illustration arts that we will be getting. The Rapidash, incredible. The Typhlosion is going to be a mission of mine. We obviously have got Misty with Psyduck, and then as you go further down, we've got these, which I'm a massive fan of in general. The trainer with the obvious Pokemon. I'm a big fan of this sort of set. If they continue this later on down the line with other Pokemon, big fan of that. And then obviously with the SARs, we've obviously got the Ho-Oh with Hop, and then the Cynthia's Garchomp, which are two of the main ones out of the set. Don't know what pricing they're coming in at, but in general, they are going to be the hits that we will see in Destined Rivals as well. When it comes to our lovely counterparts, the Glory of Team Rocket, we only just got some information from this. So as we see with the Mewtwo EX, we've got very limited at the moment, and more than likely more as we go kind of further into it. Obviously the Mewtwo EX with the Giovanni there, it's going to be Rockets. I don't know if they are going to class it as obviously Giovanni's Mewtwo, but then obviously Spindops and Porygon Z or Z in there as well. So they are just going to be some of the things that we will see from the new Destined Rivals set, and I am absolutely mega happy about this. It's going to be incredible. And then there comes the big question of open and investing. Now, when it comes to booster boxes in general, we know full well if you can get your hands on one of them at this point in time, so what we on March, end of March 2025, if you can get a booster box at MSRP, to be honest, no matter what the set, I would pick it up in an instant, because in general the hype is absolutely incredible at the moment. More than likely, if I could pick up this box at say MSRP of like 120, 130, what they normally were, it's probably going to be instantly 200 out the box. It just naturally will. When we've seen the likes of Surgeon Sparks go up to the $260 range, which, well, we're looking at about $230 at the moment in pounds, that is just extraordinary for a set that isn't a, well, I don't know, it's not even a year old yet. So it's absolutely crazy that that is the level of kind of hype we're in at the moment. Now, the big question a lot of people will ask is, should I buy it at, say, 200 to 250 if it comes out at the gate? I don't personally know if they are going to go absolutely bananas for this, because it is going to be a set that everybody is going to want. It's kind of this build up. We're getting Journey together that will give us a little bit more notice of what we should be looking for Destined Rivals. And obviously I could redo this video in like a month's time after we've seen a Journey together and seen where that goes, because we've seen Surgeon Sparks do really well. We've seen Prismatic blow the lid off everything, and I think Prismatic, because we didn't have booster boxes, clearly the product wasn't printed enough, or there's just that much hype into it at the moment that it just caused an absolute flood of everything being sold out. Journey Together could see a little bit more. of it being available, and hopefully it is. We've got obviously reprints coming and in the works at the moment. I imagine Destined Rivals, judging from what we've seen from the past half a month, or half a year in fact, we should be able to see more product on the shelves. Hopefully, if you do manage to get a box, I think this is a well worth investment. If you can get any of these products at MSRP, 100% invest. What I'm personally doing when it comes to opening, now, if you are a collector, then obviously you want to open it. That's kind of the whole point of the hobby. Now, obviously for me, I'm trying to kind of tailor it back in, because naturally you can get a little bit sidetracked with opening, and you more than likely can open a lot more than what you suspected. Like Surgeon Sparks, I normally go with a rule of a booster box if I can get one, especially prior to this. I normally have been able to get at least one. An ETB, just to get the promo cards. I'll maybe then pick up a couple of packs if I see them in the shop when I'm out, like naturally. Then I will potentially get some of the products. So we've seen with the blister packs, if there's other promos, if there's special boxes, I will kind of determine, like for instance, if we saw the Terrapagos EX box, if I'm thinking, you know what, I need a couple more packs, I'd like the promos in it, maybe the promos have got quite expensive, I might open that box and get some of the packs as well back and do it that way. Or a product like that on £100 to £150 market, I would potentially keep sealed and then have one in my collection / investment. And that's when I talk about investments. When I'm kind of talking, should you invest into this? I mean, of course, people are going to go to the craze of buying cases after cases, but I'm saying just one will do. Keeping one won't hurt the market that much. And in terms of what you're trying to do, if I say to 1 million people just buy one, then naturally you're not going to get everybody buying one. But if you've got 1 million people and you're saying buying everything off the shelves, which naturally scalpers will do, and I think for this set, I think it will be, especially with the rocket themed on it. I feel like we're going to have a journey together that might be semi-okay. We might even get a bit of product. To be honest, I've managed to pre-order some Journey Together now. So the fact that I've managed to do that and Prismatic was nowhere. Like literally, I think I got one ETB before all of the hype for Prismatic, and then everything has had to come standing in a line waiting for the shops to open. And literally that is kind of the drastic measures for it. Whereas all the other sets of Temporal Forces, Paldea Evolved, even Surgeon Sparks, I've managed to pre-order no issues whatsoever. I know the queues, I'm pretty sure, were like an hour and a half long for Pokemon Center at the moment, so I want to see if it is still there, because I know it was dropping on there, but realistically for that, you're going to have to be sitting in line. At the moment, we are still in the queue if you wanted to get in there, which at this point, to be honest, like literally, you're not gonna get in that. Let's be real. That is going to be such a hard thing to be able to kind of cope with. I just don't see it being ever an issue to just get it on a secondary market there. Getting it from the Pokemon Center, there's going to be bots, there's going to be scalpers everywhere. It's going to be impossible. Which basically gets rid of the Pokemon Center ETB. Like I said, if I want to have the box, I'm just going to buy a empty box. It's as simple as for a collection piece, it doesn't have to be sealed. If I want an ETB, maybe I could find one. Maybe I can get one or two and just keep one sealed. But when it comes to the investment side of it, it's naturally a no-brainer with something like this, especially with the Team Rockets. We've seen naturally over the course of time sealed products to do quite well. I feel like this one is going to be one of them sets. It's a huge set, mind you. So personally for me, if I was opening any, I would definitely try and do it in the most efficient way possible, because it is going to be an expensive set. I can't see this not being, unless Journey Together is printed to the moon and then this is printed to the moon, which I don't see happening in a way where it goes down to MSRP for everybody. I just don't see it happening. So for me, what I personally would do, I would happily open up a booster box if that is what you do, an ETB, and then like I say, look around if there's any extra packs that float around the shops, then obviously buy them there. I would happily buy promo packages, and then I will happily look for singles. Maybe give it a few months until the hype has died down from it, and then I would be looking to complete the set that way. Then anything extra I do manage to get, if a blister pack comes up and I've already got the promo, then obviously I'd keep that sealed. If I manage to find an ETB anywhere, or on day of launch if I manage to get two from one or two different shops, then I'll happily keep one sealed. If you can find them in the cases and you're not necessarily trying to resell instantly, then yes, obviously it's always going to be a very smart investment with any sets. At this moment in time, you've just got to be very wary buying on a secondary market, buying when the prices of a booster box hit 240 before it's even out. That's where I'm like, I probably wouldn't, just because if you are trying to buy a product like that, you've got to hope that if the hype does die down, that profit still stays up. Now, with booster boxes, I don't think that's going to be the issue over the course of time. Maybe blister packs might go down and up and kind of cause a little bit of unrest, but you're probably not spending that much on a blister pack. What, they're £15, give or take? So obviously that's going to be a big thing for you anyway. But for me, I would definitely open a little bit of it if you can afford to, and then invest in it. I'd happily buy one of each. I don't think it'd be a bad investment whatsoever, if you can get your hands on it. And like I say, we'll kind of redo into this once the Journey Together sets comes out, because we can kind of see how a bigger set does in the hype market that we've got at the moment, and we can kind of justify where that goes. So we'll see that on Friday. We'll see how this goes with any more news on the set that eventually will come out, the full set list in English, and hopefully you had a good day, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.